Beautiful souls, come on in. Grab a cup of something awesome. Come on in. Hello. Okay, so I am so pumped that you're here with me today. And honestly, thanks for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. I love this. We do this every week, right? And it's in that you're doing it on purpose. Don't we always say this, right? Like, oh, yeah, I did that and I did it on purpose, right? My kids always say that too. They'll be like, oh, she did that on purpose. And usually it's meant to be like a negative thing. But what we're saying is that like we're here together, or my kids, they do it intentionally. Okay. The goal behind your life is to be intentional, but most people aren't intentional with their life. They're literally just going with the flow. I love the saying, dead fish go with the flow. They do. Dead fish, picture a dead fish in the water, just floating along, okay? And most humans are legitimately doing the exact same freaking thing. They're going with the flow, okay? They are not intentional. They are not on purpose, okay? You guys, you got to think, out of all the times that you could be alive, you're alive right now. What are you going to do about that? What are you going to do? This is massive, because it's not about just going with the flow. Well, and I mean, I get it, okay? Like I spent the first 25 years of my life in the school system. And that's what our school system is designed to do, right? Is it's designed to teach you to go with the flow. You get up, you go to school, you go to this class, you learn the information, you regurgitate said information on a test, you get the mark, you then keep doing that until they give you a piece of paper that then you think defines who you are, and then you can get the job. I just went through this with my daughter. She wanted to take the babysitter's course. Okay. She's 11. She wanted to take the babysitter's course. And I mean, Izzy, if any of you know her, she is like the oldest soul she's ever met. She is like so mature. I would trust her to babysit me any day of the week. She probably does babysit me every day. But she's incredible, right? And I'm going, okay, like that's fine, because some people are gonna want to know that you have this piece of paper that says that you learned the information, regurgitated the information, and ... So I said, awesome. Okay. Got her all signed up. She took the course, nailed it, got her piece of paper. She's pumped. Okay. I already know that she'd be a kick-ass babysitter with or without that piece of paper. Okay. Just like you're a kick-ass human. And I don't know, did anybody get a degree in humanity? I didn't. I have lots of letters at the end of my name. A degree in humanity is not it. But I know lots of people with degrees that are not kick-ass humans. They're smart, but they confuse being smart, like being able to regurgitate information, with intelligence. Not the same thing. And it doesn't necessarily mean they're on purpose with their life. I know for years, went to school, got the job, and then I was like, okay, I'm now in this job. My job now is to be in this job for the next 30 years when I then get to live the good life. Even though after like 15 years, I was like, yeah, about that. Not really feeling in alignment with all of this anymore, but I felt like I couldn't go anywhere. Even though spending 8-10 hours a day doing work that my soul was like, seriously, dude, like we're going to do this again. Like we're going to get up and pretend like we love this. We're going to like suck it up for 8 to 10 hours. Are you freaking kidding me? Like my soul was literally like, like just not impressed with my decisions. Okay. And I was like, okay, well, maybe if I like start this other job, I'll get this, or maybe if I do this. And in the end, I was just like, oh my gosh, like this just isn't impacting my work performance. Like everybody was like, Dylan, you're great at your work. I was great to them, but I wasn't great to myself. I was like, I could be so much better if I was actually executing what my soul's purpose was here to do, because I'm here on this earth for a reason. And I knew I wasn't doing the work that I was meant to be doing, even though I was good at it. I love it. Okay. And then doing something that I wasn't obsessed with for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, however long I was working, it then impacted how I wifed, how I mothered, how I daughtered, how I friended, how I did all the things in my life. And I'm like, man, this is like total crap. Everything is suffering, and I'm suffering because I got all this guilt that I feel. Okay, so I want to talk today about purpose and how knowing your purpose is crucial. Okay, like I said, I found myself in the exact same place, simply just going through the motions of life. And it wasn't until I discovered the feeling of my purpose. Okay, notice how I didn't say my purpose, because if you've been following me for the last decade that I've been doing this work, the way I've expressed my purpose professionally has shifted, hasn't it? Right? Like initially it was like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to be expressing it through, and I was in the network marketing arena. Rocked it, totally rocked it, got to the top 2% of the company. And then I was like, wait, how did I get to the top 2% of the company? But all these other people that are really working hard, they're doing all the things, they didn't. How did that happen? And I knew it had nothing to do with what I was doing. I mean, that was part of it, but that was like 10, maybe 20% of it. The rest was my thinking around it, my self-image, my confidence, my belief in myself and what I was doing, and the energetics that I built around that. Okay, like that's how it happened. And I knew that. I was like, okay, so now I'm going to pivot because I can feel my purpose is that I'm supposed to teach other people how to do this. It doesn't matter whether they're like, if they're working for somebody else, or if they're an entrepreneur, or they're in the network marketing arena, or they're in real estate, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, I have to teach people what their purpose feels like. Now, I'm going to say something, and it might rock you a little bit, because so many people say to me, Delynn, what's my purpose? Are you going to teach me what my purpose is? Your purpose isn't a thing. Write that down if you need to like store it away in the old nutcracker there. Okay. Your purpose isn't a thing. It's a feeling, and you'll know when you have it. Like I've known, like my purpose isn't to be a mom. I hear this from moms all the time. Well, my purpose is to be a mom. And I'm like, okay, well, what happens when your little birdies fly the nest? What the hell are you going to do then? You know what? Do you know how many people I coach that they're like, oh my gosh, all my kids are gone off to school. They're living their own lives, and I don't know who I am because I've been so immersed in that hat, that mom hat for 20 years, 25 years, however long it's been. I don't even know who I am anymore. So then we got to discover it, right? Because the fact is before you gave birth to those humans, before you got that job, before you had the idea of growing that business, before you had ... that marriage, that whatever, you were your soul born into this body. And that happened on purpose, intentionally. So now you get to go, okay, what is that? And I love the saying, there's 2 days that you were born, the day you were born and the day you realize why. Okay, this is your purpose, and you express your purpose in lots of different ways. So I express my purpose as being a mom. That's one of the ways I express it. And I've known since I was little. Like, you would have asked me when I was little, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said a mom. I knew then. I was like, this is one of the ways where I'm going to learn a crap ton of lessons. My soul knew it. And it's just, it was what I wanted to be, right? But it's one way that I express my purpose. I'm also expressing my purpose right now. Like, I'm lit right now, like lit up, on fire, very passionate about this topic, because it drives me bonkers when I see people just going through the motions of life. They're going with the flow. And they aren't even paying attention to the fact that they are just dissatisfied with their life. Their relationships are suffering, whether it's a romantic relationship or not. Their relationship with their self is going downhill quick, and they'll blame it on lots of things. They'll say, oh, I have anxiety. Oh, it must be hormones. Oh, it must be that, whatever. I'm ready to retire. Okay, you're going to retire, and you still, guys, you don't ever retire from life. Guess what retirement from life looks like? We call it death. Okay? It doesn't happen. You don't ever retire. The only people that want to retire are the people that did something for 30 years that was like, that's all they were waiting for, was wait to retire. I don't know about you. I'm not waiting to go live my life. That doesn't even make sense to me. That is like the opposite of sense. I plan on never stopping serving people. Ever. The moment I stop serving people, I'm gone. I know that I'm meant to serve people. It gets to look different, right? When I'm like 90, 100, might not be traveling all over the world and it'll look different, but I will be of service. And anybody who's ever worked with seniors knows that this is a very important thing. When I worked in long-term care, we used to give, there would be like older people with like dementia that we would like give them a doll and it would be like their baby, or we give them a job. Like your job is every day you find out what we're eating and you write it on the meal board, or you like, we would give them jobs and they would feel like rock stars. Okay, because we're not meant to just be idle. And you're like, well, when I'm retired, I'm not going to be idle. I'm just going to do whatever I want. Well, the fact that you say I'm going to do whatever I want tells me you're not doing what you want now. Why aren't you doing it now? You aren't guaranteed that time. You aren't guaranteed that you're going to make it till 65 or 55 or whatever year you're making it to. You're not guaranteed that. So what are you going to do about it? Right? Think about this. Think about it. So if you're not guaranteed that time, you need to decide what you're going to do now and meet yourself where you're at. There are so many benefits to living an on-purpose life, and it's remarkable. Okay, when you are aligned with your purpose, you will feel fulfilled. You're going to feel passionate about what you're doing. You're going to feel alive. You're going to wake up every morning and you are going to just want to jump out of bed. That was my first indicator that I wasn't living an on-purpose life, was I wasn't jumping out of bed. And I had every reason to want to jump out of bed. I had 2 little girls. I had a smoking awesome husband. I had the like 6-figure corporate job that I was like successfully ladder climbing at. I had every reason. And then I felt guilty for feeling like crap about it all. Okay, I want you to really go in and ask yourself, do you feel lit up, or do you feel like that dead fish going with the flow? You'll know it. And don't try to talk yourself out of it. Don't be like, Delynn, yes, I do, but I've only got 4 years left. 4 years left. Guess what? You could be moving out of that old meat stick in 2. I don't know. Okay? Your soul is here to grow. It doesn't give a crap what your pension looks like. It doesn't care. It doesn't care about any of that stuff. It wants to grow. Your soul has a purpose. And it's a feeling that you have when you do something that lights you up. But you have to know that like it's yours. Like your purpose is not meant to be anybody else's. Okay, we're going to talk about this. We're going to dig into this all month long. Okay? And it starts with that question of, what does your life feel like? Does it feel lit up, on fire? Or do you just want to catch it on fire and then feel guilty about it? Okay? Thanks for joining me today, you guys. Tea cheers. Bye, you guys. Have a great day.